You're watching SportsBeat.
Thanks for watching SportsBeat on this Saturday. Jeremiah Jensen, Sam Farnsworth. Tonight, interviews with Mike Conley Jr. and Boyan Bogdanovich, a trip to New York for the World Cup parade, and an angel in the outfield last night in Anaheim. But we start with more roster news for the Utah Jazz. They're not done.
Yeah, of course, right? It's been a great offseason. The Utah Jazz made a splash in the offseason, adding Mike Conley Jr., of course, Boyan Bogdanovich to their roster. While the big moves, they're pretty much in the books by this point. The Jazz do continue to make moves to build the back end of the roster.
Yeah, according to multiple reports, the Jazz will sign former Gonzaga star Nigel Williams-Goss to a 3-year contract. The Jazz selected Nigel in the second round of the 2017 NBA draft. He played for Olympiacos in Greece last season, averaging 9.2 points and 4 assists per game. He shot 40% from the three-point line.
So here's a glance at what the Jazz roster is shaping up to be this offseason. Of course, the core group of guys come back. 7 total players return. They picked up Jarrell Brantley, Justin Wright-Foreman, and Mie Oni in the draft. The big move was the trade for Mike Conley, of course, then the busy free agency period. Boyan Bogdanovich, Ed Davis, Jeff Green, Emmanuel Mudiay, now Williams-Goss, all signed. When it's all said and done, only 15 will be on the final roster.
There is some room on that roster. All right, the Jazz wrapped up Summer League in Vegas, taking on the Hornets. Mie Oni with the best Jazz highlight. That was his only make of the game, the second-round pick. The best plays belong to the Hornets. Miles Bridges, a windmill off the Euro step in-game. That's pretty special. Then Cassius Robertson trying to make the Hornets team in the fall. Impressed the front office with that move. He impressed me. Here's the score for all you gamblers out there. The rest of you probably don't care about Summer League final scores. Utah Jazz introduced their 2 major offseason additions on Monday in Las Vegas. Adding Mike Conley Jr. and Boyan Bogdanovich to the roster has made the Jazz a championship contender.
Yeah, no doubt. They definitely didn't sit back this offseason. It started with that trade of Mike Conley Jr. It was almost like Conley was prepared for this trade 6 months ago, right? Because just before the trade deadline in February, Conley's name had come up in those trade talks with the Jazz, but a deal never worked out at that time. So when it became official earlier this month, Conley was ready to leave the only NBA home he had known and start again in Utah.
It kind of got me prepared, you know, just the opportunity or, you know, knowing that it was possible. You know, I didn't know if it was going to happen in February or not, but after the deadline passed, I knew that things would pick up again. And so my mind was already thinking of, you know, what it would be like to live here or there. And Utah, obviously, was at the forefront of the trade discussion. So I was just kind of preparing myself for it. And now I'm just, you know, ready to live it.
Faith is very important to Mike Conley, an active Christian. He recently won the NBA's Teammate of the Year and Sportsmanship Awards. He's never had a technical foul in his 12-year NBA career. Relying on faith helped Mike get through the transition of getting traded for the first time in his career.
Faith is big in our family, and for me, you know, I was never able to get distracted with all the things that were going on last season, strictly because of that foundation. You know, I never felt discouraged. I'm the type of person that always thinks that, you know, it's going to work out regardless of, you know, situation, and things are put on people's table for a reason. And you know, ultimately, you know, full circle, I'm here. You know, it didn't work out in February, but I made it here, and it's going to be a great place for my family and I. My kids are in Salt Lake right now, my wife, so they're getting used to it as well. So we're all just very excited.
Well, when Bogdanovich signed with the Jazz, it wasn't like he was going with the only team that made him an offer. He had options, including staying with his Indiana Pacers. He said he really wanted to stay until the call came from the Jazz. One look at the team, and the decision became an easy one.
When I have a call from a Jazz, and I saw the roster that we have right now with Mike, Mitchell, and great group of guys, great mix of young and veteran players, that make me so excited, and I was so happy to have that call and be part of this organization and culture.
Both players are excited to be coached by Quinn Snyder and play in his system. Boyan and Mike had a chance to explain why the Jazz system will be a perfect fit for the skills that they possess.
Jazz has been one of the best team moving the ball offensively, and one of the best ranking teams defensively. So coach is excited like we are. We got, like I said before, deep roster. There is many rotation and many combination that he can use during the game. So it's going to be really fun for all of us.
There's a lot of wiggle room. You know, you can do a lot of things with the roster that's in place, and as deep as we are, I think we'll have a lot of room to improve throughout the season. But you know, the spacing, the offense, the defense, all the things that will be, you know, keys for us throughout the year, I think, you know, it's going to make us who we are, and we're just excited to get involved in that, be a part of that, you know, just be a cog in that wheel, and you know, just get this thing going.
Well, the fact that the Jazz mean business was a big selling point this offseason. They're not sitting back and waiting. They're leading the charge to build a championship contender. That's one reason why the new additions, including Conley, excited to play in Utah.
It's all you really want, you know, as an NBA player, is to be able to compete at a high level every night and give yourself opportunities to do great things. Unfortunately for me, the last few seasons, you know, we didn't really have that opportunity. And regardless of that, you know, I think that was the more trying time in my career, being able to stay locked in and stay focused through a situation where we knew we weren't, you know, going to have opportunity to play in the playoffs and stuff like that. So right now, it's just a breath of fresh air. It's a shot in the arm, and just really ready to go.
Now that the Golden State Warriors dynasty has come to an end, the NBA championship next year seems more wide open than ever. There's no super team in the NBA. Parity is back. It's up to 12 teams look like they have a shot at a title, so why not the Jazz?
The whole league feels that there's opportunity for everybody, but our goals, you know, is going to be day to day, you know, trying to get in the mud and work, because we don't know what it takes to win a championship yet. You know, as we go through the journey, we're going to learn together and fight together. You know, lose, win, all the things that come into play during the season, to hopefully have that opportunity to compete at that level at the end of the year. So we're going to be, you know, just working and grinding like we expect to do, and you know, we'll see what happens as the season goes on.
So you've got two of the best players in the league with Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. You've got a great coach that players want to work hard for. And now you've got outstanding offseason additions that make the team even better. The bar officially has been raised in Utah, and the Jazz front office not afraid of this pressure.
We want to put the most competitive team out there that we can. Adding the right character, the right talent, having a great coach who can put all of this together. We embrace the expectations because we're trying to field the most competitive team that we can in a pursuit for a championship. Again, we'll embrace everything because we're here to compete.
We've seen Mike and Donovan Mitchell already working out together in Los Angeles in June. I had a chance to ask Mike what he learned about Donovan Mitchell from those workouts.
I'm really just impressed at, you know, how mature he is for a guy in his situation. He's, you know, a face of the franchise. He's, you know, has everything at his feet, but he's willing to learn. He's willing to get better. He's a lot more athletic than me right now, but it's just fun to see a guy like that just do the things he can do with the basketball, but really pay attention to the details. You don't find that in a lot of young guys, and he's going to be special. He already is, but he's going to be, you know, really, really good in this league.
It was emotional at first. When it first happened, I couldn't believe it.
More from Mike Conley. Next, I speak with the Jazz point guard, his reaction to being traded to the Jazz, the time he spent with Quinn Snyder, and his thoughts on the Jazz big summer.
Well, if you're a Utah Jazz fan and you have not enjoyed this offseason, you might want to get that pulse checked.
What is wrong with you? I doubt any of you haven't. I had a chance to visit with Mike Conley on Monday in Las Vegas. I asked him about his first impressions of Utah and the Jazz basketball facility, his reaction to getting traded to Utah, and his thoughts on the roster the Jazz have built this summer.
It's just been a phenomenal offseason, and I think that the way that it all played out with me getting traded when I did right before the draft, I think really helped, you know, kind of like Dennis was saying, just kind of expedite and accelerate a little bit, and give, you know, Bogey something to look at, give the other guys something to look at when they're looking for places to call home and to compete at it. So just excited to be a part of the plan, and it's going to be something special, I think.
What was it like for you emotionally to be traded for the first time, and what was your thoughts when you heard you were coming to Utah?
Yeah, It was emotional at first. When it first happened, I couldn't believe it. I didn't believe it was real. I was just like, I don't even know how to act. I kind of just sat in the car with my father and just was quiet for a second and sat back and started thinking about all the years that you've had, all the ups and downs. I mean, things that you went through, and you sit there for about 20 minutes, and then after that, I started thinking about all the possibilities going forward. And got super excited, So, I just thank Memphis for everything. They made me who I am, and now I have opportunity to bring that to Utah. I feel like I fit in really seamlessly because it reminds me of a little bit of my teams in Memphis when we were playing the defense that we played, but with just a little bit more offense, I think. And with guys like Donovan, unique talent. That I don't think that a lot of guys don't get the opportunity to play with a guy like that. Is going to make a lot of things a lot easier for me, a lot of things easier for everybody else, and the way I play, my DNA, the defense and offense is just as important to me. So I'm going to fit in pretty good.
One of my favorite things is watching that clip of them working out together, seeing Donovan go offhand floater, because that's what Mike Conley is probably most known for in the league. For a guy as explosive and athletic as you are, if you start to add that part of the game, then it become a real problem.
We all know what he can do now, but the sky's the limit. He can be so much better, and that's the scary thing about it. He has a lot of room to improve in a lot of different areas, and he knows that, and that's the most important thing. It's not just us telling him, you need to work on a floater, or you need to work on, passing out of a double team or whatever it may be. He's actively reaching out, saying like, oh, how do I get that, or how do I get that? Because he's ready to make that next jump, and he wants to be that guy, and that's the most impressive thing, that he has that mentality.
Conley to the rim. Gobert says, no, not right now.
It'd be nice to play with Rudy instead of against him.
Oh, it's the best. I tell him, I've seen him, a couple times here in Vegas and a few times before in LA, and first thing I said was like, I'm just so happy I don't have to play against you, because nights were very hard because you couldn't find any room in the paint, and that's where I like to work a lot. So
we shouldn't have to flip.
He's great. He's great. I love him. He's like I said, he's a guy that's ready to challenge all of us every day, I'm sure. And just talking X's and O's. I made the mistake of asking a question one day about a defensive call or something like that, and he went on long laundry list of just things. I was like, I'm not prepared for that yet. Yeah, so, but yeah, he seems very detail oriented, and it's going to be key, for good teams to be good. You have to have that kind of leadership.
What's your first impressions of Salt Lake City? Obviously, you've been on road trips, but to actually know this is my home, and also the facilities as well, as you're trying to get acclimated. What was it like?
Well, first, the city is unbelievable. I've obviously played there many times, but I don't ever go out of my room on the road, regardless of where I'm at. So I never got to see the city at all, and just being there the last few days, just blown away. We had a great day, great weather. I didn't know it was as hot in the summer as it was, but fantastic. But people are great. I got to meet a lot of fans and diehard fans, and the practice facility is one of a kind in my eyes. I walked in there and I'm taking videos and pictures, and I'm asking what is that? Like, what kind of machine is that? Like, and I've never seen some of the things in there. Obviously, they've put a lot of money into committing to this organization and the team and the players. So I'm just excited.
Give it up for the winner of the Sportsmanship and Twyman Stokes Teammate of the Year Award, Mike Conley.
We all see that it's an opportunity for all of us that have that aspiration. We all want to win a championship, and we all, especially myself, it's something I've been, looking for my whole career, and have gotten close and never been able to push through. And now it seems like it's the time. This year especially, there's not too many teams with three, big-time top 5, top 10 guys on the team. It's kind of split up. So it's a great opportunity for the Jazz to just, be ourselves and continue to improve as the season goes on. And we'll be there at the end of the year, knocking at the door.
Mike was so impressive in person. It was great to get to meet him. And later in the show, we're going to get to meet Boyan Bogdanovich as well. U.S. women's national team returned to the United States to a hero's welcome this week after winning their 4th World Cup title.
Yeah, I was there on Thursday in New York City when they arrived, and what better way to welcome them back than with a ticker tape parade in that city.
3 Utah Royals players were honored along with the rest of the U.S. women's team for their victory at the 2019 World Cup in France. Like about Kristen Press, you got her jersey on. Is she your favorite player?
She's one of my favorite players. Krieger was my first favorite player. I don't know, I like her style. Yeah, her header was great.
Done! Go! It is Press on it. Kelly O'Hara jersey, is there a reason? Is that she your favorite or just?
I don't know. She's been one of the players that she was in the last World Cup, and that's when I really started watching the team, and she's just been an inspiration all through their journey to this weekend's success.
The outpouring of love and pride for this team was abundant, not just for winning the championship, but also standing up for more equality in sports.
It's really inspirational seeing them because they are the superior team in the world, and they're just not getting what they deserve. So seeing them pushing for that and getting young girls involved, it's really cool.
Co-captain Megan Rapinoe has been one of the most vocal members of the team in support for equal pay. She also left us with a message in her speech at City Hall saying that we all need to be better still.
We have to love more, hate less. We got to listen more and talk less.
Moving on to golf. Locally, the 121st State Amateur final took place on Saturday. The final match featured defending champ Preston Summerhays, just 16 years old. Utah State Aggie golfer Chase Lansford, 36 holes at Soldier Hollow. Summerhays dominated the match. He was 8 up after 22 holes and defends his title 7-6. The first repeat champ since his uncle Daniel in 2001.
It's been a goal of mine for this year to win this tournament, so I'm just really happy to achieve a goal. I wouldn't say that there was a doubt in my mind, but I just had this goal from the start of the year, and I just wanted to make sure I was prepared and worked hard enough to have the best chance to winning.
Well, the offseason started with the big trade. The excitement only accelerated when the Jazz inked Boyan Bogdanovich in free agency.
Yeah, I had a chance to visit with Boyan and ask him about turning pro at 15, his fit in the Jazz offense, and why he left Indiana for Utah.
Sure, you had other free agent options, and a lot of teams were interested in you. What stood out about this opportunity in this organization that allowed you to come to this decision so quickly?
I mean, seeing Mike Donovan and Rudy over there, and seeing that Jazz is contender every single year makes my decision so easy and quick.
As you look at this offense and what Quinn Snyder does offensively, why do you feel it's a good fit for you and your game?
Because Jazz been a team that always move the ball pretty well. I know that they needed some good three-point shooters, so I hope that I will keep my game on a high level. And like I mentioned before, there's so many combinations. We can play small, big, so it's gonna be fun for all of us.
Bogdanovich lets it fly and hits again. He's 3 for 3 from downtown.
What type of player are the Jazz getting in Boyan Bogdanovich?
And Bogdanovich with a left hand.
First, he's one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA.
Bogdanovich in front of the Wizards bench for 3.
He shot 42% from 3 last season, 45% on corner threes. He averaged 18 points per game. After Victor Oladipo went down with a season-ending injury, he averaged 21 points per game for the Pacers, a playoff team in the East.
He's taking one shot.
He can also take guys off the dribble and finish strong at the rim. With Conley, Mitchell, and Bogdanovich, the Jazz now have 3 players in the starting lineup that can create their own shot. Bogey is also able to take advantage of mismatches by posting up smaller players. He moves so well without the basketball. Watch his movement on these plays and how it gives him open looks. All these offensive skills developed during 15 years of professional basketball.
You've been playing pro basketball since you're 15. I mean, what's it like? This is basically all you know. What's it been like, this journey, especially getting into pro basketball at such a young age?
I mean, it makes me to grow up so quickly. I left my home when I was 15, and this is gonna be like my first summer off since I turned a pro. So there's a lot room for my game improvement, and I'm trying to get it this summer. I was surprised that everybody reached me out as soon as they released that I'll be the new Jazz player. That show me how great culture they build over there, and that togetherness is on a high level. We got pretty deep roster. It depends on the coach how he gonna play us, but I'm here to do whatever it takes to make my team successful.
That's a wrap for SportsBeat. We'll be back at 10 with Real Salt Lake highlights. What's for dinner, Sam?
I don't know yet. I need to make better decisions.
You gotta be more committed
I'm not
than that.
prepared.